Do you love silly stories for kids? Why not consider joining our family? You can even get a very special message from one of your favourite silly stories for kids characters. Head over to the website to find out more. It's your support that helps us to continue to make exciting stories and more crazy content.
Did somebody say crazy?
Oh, Pimpin, no.
One day, 3 little children named Henry, Matilda and Florence were all in their backyard. They had been playing a few games in the sandpit for a little while, but decided that it was about time that they went to the trampoline. As they walked over, Henry noticed something different. What's that can of spray next to the trampoline? He said to Florence. I don't know. It looks a little bit peculiar. Can you read the letters? Henry picked up the can and had a look. They don't look like normal letters, said Henry. They look a bit different. Well, maybe we shouldn't play with it, said Florence. I think it's probably not for us. But as she was saying this, Matilda picked up the can and started spraying it all over the trampoline. Matilda, said Henry, what are you doing? I don't know, said Matilda, but it seemed like a good idea. They were very confused, but it seemed to be okay. Nothing bad had happened yet. So they got their shoes off and got ready to jump on the trampoline. Henry climbed to the side. Watch this one, he said to Matilda as he jumped onto the trampoline. Doing! What just happened? Said Matilda. I don't know, said Henry. That's the highest I've ever bounced in my whole entire life. Maybe it was the spray, said Matilda. Maybe, said Henry. Matilda jumped on the trampoline. Doing! It seems to be super bouncy spray, said Matilda. No, that's incredible. Where did it go? They turned around and they looked. And Florence had the can and she was running away. Florence, come back here, said Henry. But it was too late. She was already charging off out of the backyard. Henry and Matilda quickly grabbed their shoes and started running after her. Florence, come back, they yelled. Florence raced to the edge of the driveway and sprayed the spray on the ground. Then she jumped on the patch that she just sprayed. Doing! She jumped over the fence. How did she do that? Said Henry. It's the spray, said Matilda. The 2 kids started racing off after Florence, who was running around with the can of spray. I hope she doesn't cause any trouble, said Henry. But they knew that she would. Florence raced off down the street, and when she got to the shop, she saw lots of people walking in and out. She smiled to herself as she had an idea. Just then, Henry grabbed her. Florence, you need to stop. Said Florence. Can't we have some fun first? Said Henry. Maybe. I think we can, said Matilda. Me too, said a voice. Who are you? Said Henry. My name is Pim Pim. Pim Pim, said Henry. I've heard about you. My friends talked about you. You're very naughty. Just a little bit naughty, said Pim Pim. But speaking of little bit naughty, I have an idea. I have an idea too, said Florence. What is your idea, little girl? Well, we can use this spray to make people bounce when they're not expecting it. That is the same idea that I had, said Pim Pim. You seem to be a very clever girl, he said to Florence. Or a very naughty girl, said Henry. So, Pim Pim worked with the children. They grabbed the spray and they were trying to work out where to spray it. I see a spot, said Henry. Where? Said Pim Pim. See where everybody's pushing back their trolleys? Oh, said Pim Pim. That is a good spot. Let's put some there. They waited until somebody had pushed a trolley into the trolley return. Then they sprayed the bouncy spray all over the ground in front of it. Soon, a lady came with her shopping, and she was pushing it past the trolley spot. As she pushed it on, all of a sudden, her trolley started to bounce, and her food and her groceries started bouncing out everywhere. They went all over the ground. The kids laughed and ran away. Come back here, you naughty children, said the lady. I don't know how you did it, but you're in big trouble, she said. The kids raced and ran and laughed and laughed. They ran along even further. What next? Said Matilda. I've got an idea, said Henry.
What is your idea, little boy?
Said Pim Pim. Well, maybe we could put the spray at the spot where people sit down to wait for the bus.
That is a very good idea, said the Pim Pim. Let us go!
So the kids ran with Pim Pim all the way to the nearest bus stop. They saw a nice little seat where people would sit down, and they sprayed the bouncy spray all over the seat. The kids hid in the bushes and watched. Just then, an old man came to sit down and wait for the bus. He walked over and he bent down slowly. As he sat down, boing! His bottom hit the seat and he bounced flying through the air straight off the bus stop into some bushes. Whoa, said the old man. What just happened? Another lady walked over. Are you okay?
Oh, yes, said the old man. I was just waiting for the bus and I'm not quite sure. Oh, I'm going to stand here now, he said.
As he stood, the lady sat down on the bus stop.
No, don't sit there, said the old man. Doing!
The lady bounced off the seat and flew into the same bushes. Whoa, there seems to be something wrong with this seat. The kids laughed and ran away as quickly as they could.
Okay, little girl, one more for you.
So Matilda said, I think I've got an idea, she said.
Oh, what is your idea, little girl?
Said Pim Pim. Well, maybe we could be really, really, really cheeky.
Oh, I like the sound of this,
said Pim Pim. Well, said Matilda, have you ever been to McDonald's, Pim Pim?
Oh, I like McDonald's. I like their cones and I like their flags. It's very tasty,
said Pim Pim. Well, there's a spot at McDonald's where everybody stands to order their food. I think we should spray the bouncy spray all over that spot.
Oh, good idea, said Pim Pim. Let's do it.
So the kids and Pim Pim raced into the nearest McDonald's shop and they sprayed the bouncy spray all over the floor directly in front of the counter. They then hid in the playground and watched. As they watched, they saw people starting to walk into the McDonald's shop. A lady came in with her family and she walked over to the counter. I'd like to order a doing, 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 doing. Her and her kids started bouncing around the McDonald's store. Whoa, said the lady at the counter. What's going on? Just then another man walked in, walking straight past the bouncing people and walked up to the counter. Oh, can I get a small doing, 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 ow, he said as he got bounced away from the counter and all over the room. Everybody was starting to bounce. Another family came in and tried to order some nuggets.
Excuse me, can I get a 10-pack of doing, 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 doing?
A little boy walked in. Excuse me, lady, can I please doing, 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 doing? Everybody was bouncing around the McDonald's store. Can somebody please clean up whatever it is that's making everybody bounce out there, said the manager of the McDonald's. Okay, said the little boy on work experience. He grabbed the mop bucket and went out the front and tried to mop up the spot where everybody was bouncing. But as soon as he put the mop on, boing! Oh, I can't just seem to mop that. Boing! Every time he put it down, the mop would bounce up high in the air. Stop being ridiculous, said the manager. You need to mop that up right now. I'm trying, said the little boy, but it's not working. The manager came out and said, it's easy. Watch this. He grabbed the mop off the little boy and threw it at the ground as hard as he could. The mop flew around the McDonald's store and smashed one of the windows. Oh, said the manager, that's a bit peculiar. Well, I'm sick and tired of this. This is ridiculous, he said as he raised his foot and went to stamp it. Oh, I wouldn't do that, said the work experience boy, but it was too late. The manager stamped his foot on the ground and patwang! He bounced straight out of his own store through the window. It was a terrifying experience, but the little boy on work experience found it so funny that he laughed and he laughed and he laughed until he fell over onto the bouncy spot. Boing, 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 boing. The McDonald's shop was full of bouncing people, food, managers and mops. The three Solomon's kids laughed and laughed and ran away. They raced out the front door of the McDonald's and started running home. As they ran, Florence was spraying tiny bits on the ground to help her bounce and run as fast as she could. The kids laughed. Well, thank you, Mr. Pim Pim. We've had a really fun day.
Oh, yes, said Pim Pim. I am always here whenever you want to have some naughty, silly fun.
The kids laughed. They said goodbye and walked inside. Florence tried to spray a little bit on the grass to help her jump over the fence. Oh, she said, I think the can's empty. Oh, maybe we'll find something else special one day, said Henry. They walked through the gate. As they did, their mummy was waiting. Kids, Where have you been?" "Well," said Henry, "I don't think you'd believe us, even if we told you." And that is the end of our story.
Hello! Today's episode has been brought to you by Pim Pim's Magic Bouncy Spray. The only bouncy spray that you can spray on your friends' feet so when they try to walk they will bounce over the fence and fall into the neighbor's garden. Hehe, I hope that you have fun. Make sure you send a comment to the comment section to say that Pim Pim is the best. Make sure you say Pim Pim is the best. That's P-I-M-P-I-M, and it is me, Pim Pim. For more information, head over to www.sillystoriesforkids.com. This has been me, Pim Pim.
And me, Sam. We'll see you next time.